If any white man in the world says, give me liberty or give me death, the entire white world applauds. When a black man says exactly the same thing, he is judged a criminal and treated like one, and everything possible is done to make an example of this bad nigger so there won't be any more like him.
Well, Am Not Your Negro is a film based on the writing of James Baldwin. And it's about three men, Medgar Evers, Malcolm X, and Martin Luther King. And James Baldwin wanted to write a book about those three men, their connection and their death and what it meant to this country. And it was a way for him to make a sort of analysis of where we are today. And the film basically started up where Baldwin stopped because he never had a chance to finish the book. So that's what the film is hoping to do.
I'm a black man in a white world. Most of the white Americans I've ever encountered, sure, they have nothing whatever against Negroes. That's really not the question. Really a kind of apathy and ignorance. You don't know what's happening on the other side of the wall because you don't want to know.
And this movie's going to come out right after the inauguration. It seems like it's even, James Baldwin's work is even more relevant today than ever. Can you speak to that?
Well, absolutely. It's a timely work, although we didn't start it, for that very purpose. Even 10 years ago, I felt that it was time to have that conversation. And the election of Barack Obama and the 8 years following that did not change the importance of it. In the contrary, it makes it almost urgent because it makes us understand that it's not just about having a black president that will change the structure of this country, that it needed more. It needed the action of many, many people, both black and white. It needed for us to find a way to change the power structure of this nation. The real problem of this country is not so much about a race issue, but it's about a class issue. And as long as we don't touch this structure, nothing fundamental will happen.
There are days when you wonder what your role is in this country and what your future is in it. I can't be a pessimist because I'm alive. The question you've got to ask yourself, the white population of this country's got to ask itself, is why it was necessary to have a nigger in the first place.
And you've made films that have looked at other systems of oppression. I mean, being Haitian, especially Man from the Shore, sometimes in April. I mean, how does this connect to your body of work?
Well, it's probably one of I would say, the vertebra of my body of work, because I read Baldwin very early on in my life, and he has always been a sort of moral compass and political compass, and he has always shown me the right way or the right attitude in matters of life and death. And so I integrate him in my DNA. It's so I'm a product of Baldwin, so automatically it's part of my whole work. And as a matter of fact, I very often use a Baldwin quote when I start writing any of my movies, because it's always a guiding light somehow, and to make sure that I go deep and I go really directly to whatever I need to say.
Mm-hmm. Well, you do such a fantastic job with this, especially illustrating, using so many different things to illustrate and connecting our heroes. So I applaud you for that. But I really feel like this is more than just a movie. We're in the midst of a movement. After people see this movie, what needs to happen in terms of action taking?
Well, it will be the decision. I've done my job, and Baldwin have done his job, and it's about us taking those words seriously or not. And what he says, not only metaphorically, but directly to us, to the audience, he says, you need to face the reality, because until you face it, you cannot fix it. And that's, both white, both blacks, population, they need to face that reality and not continue to have two parallel worlds, as if worlds, as if the other one don't exist. So it's key to what will happen in the near future. It's are we willing to address those fundamental issues, or are we going to continue to evade the reality, to evade that there are serious problems of inequality, of wealth, of injustice in this country, that there are laws that are there to keep part of the population under lock, that those laws needs to be changed, that every single citizen in this country should have the opportunity to make a living, to decide for its life, for the life of his children, etc. So the response is in how we will react to that, to this reality, and what we do with Baldwin's words.
I'm not a nigger. I'm a man. But if you think I'm a nigger, it means you need it. And you gotta find out why. And the future of the country depends on that.